So let's go ahead with that said, some of the bigger differences between the two. Let's go ahead and jump in and unbox this BT6 Touch and see what comes in the box. Alright, so very first thing, I just opened it up. There's a couple user manuals in here. It looks like a user manual for the backup camera itself. This comes with the BTC 128 camera. And then of course a user manual for the monitor itself. And these will have installation instructions in them. So let's get down to some of the goodies. So let's get through some of the hardware stuff. Right off the bat, I'm pulling out, these are just going to be some hardware screws for attaching the camera to the back of an RV. Now luckily for us, we already have a backup camera, an observation camera, and it is a Haloview, and this will mount in the same hole, so we're not going to use any of that hardware. Something else I like with this new BT6 Touch is they came out with a suction mount stand or mount, so this can actually mount to our windshield, and now I can put this pretty much anywhere I want and get it out of the way. So I'm really looking forward to that mount, trying it out and see how that works. They do have another mount. This has a 3M tape on it, so this would be more of a permanent mount if you wanted to stick this to your dash on your tow vehicle or somewhere, wherever you want. I probably won't use that. I just don't like having something permanently stuck on my dash. I'd rather use a suction mount, something I can take off when I don't need it. Let's look at the camera. So this is the same camera as our BT7. Very same functionality. Hopefully you can see the front of it. The back just has some wiring to wire up for power, and it also has a little antenna port as well. Now something that we mentioned in another review we did for the Haloview, the BT7, we've had some problems. We're about 60-65 feet from the camera all the way up to where the monitor would be mounted. We originally tried that with the little antenna that comes with the kit. It didn't work out very well. We ended up installing this extension camera, or the extension antenna, and this goes actually from the camera in the back of RV all the way up across the top of the RV to the front of RV to our end cap, and it's stuck on the front of the end cap. So now we have an antenna literally 10 feet away from the monitor, and we haven't had a problem since. So my personal opinion, if you have a large fifth wheel like us, 40-45 feet, it's probably worth getting the extension camera or antenna as well. Now this is the actual monitor. We'll open this up. Hopefully you can see that. And here we'll just do a real quick comparison. This is the new one, and this is the BT7. You can definitely see it's a lot smaller than the BT7. Again, the same as this one though. We do have the two antenna ports. The back of this does have a speaker, which is kind of neat. And you can't see it here, but there is a little red light indicator, so when you have power, you'll know you have power. It also has on this side, looks like a pairing button, and also a slot for a mini SD card. This is what I mentioned earlier. I think I'm going to like this. This is the power button. You have a USB port, so you could plug that in for power, or using the cigarette lighter, the DC plug-in right here. So you got power and either option on which way you want to power this up. And the main thing with this, though, I really want to see is the touch screen. So that should be pretty interesting to try out. Okay, the only thing left in here now is basically some wiring and some hardware type stuff. These are the antennas. The two smaller antennas would go onto the monitor. This larger antenna would normally go on the camera. Again, we're going to use that extension antenna. I already know I don't want to rely on this one. This is just some wiring or some power for the camera. We're not going to need this because we already have our camera, an existing camera. And a lot of RVs in the United States, they already come pre-wired for or backup camera, so you may not need that as well. This is the cigarette power adapter for the monitor. This is the USB power adapter for the monitor. And this is something you may end up using. Again, a lot of the RVs in the United States come pre-wired for a backup camera or an observation camera, and they're pre-wired for the Furrion camera. This is an adapter that would go from the Furrion adapter to the Haloview, so you may need this. This is a pairing cable. Hopefully you don't need this. The camera and the monitor do come paired already. However, things happen. They may end up losing the pairing, or maybe you buy another monitor, you buy another camera, you have to repair it. So this is when you would use that. And I'll show you in the truck, once we get everything out of here, the first thing we're going to do is make sure these are actually paired together before we mount everything or the camera on the back of the RV. This is something that you don't want to lose. And then there's a couple little mounting options here. This is for the camera. We're not going to use this. From what I remember, this is, you could put a magnet in here, and if you didn't want to drill holes or you had a place you could just stick it to, you could use this. This is strictly just a gasket. This would be the back of your RV. You have your gasket, and then the camera would go on here. We already have a gasket from our previous camera. It's the same exact gasket, so I might just use the old one over again and just save this for the future.